Hello, folks. I think this is live now. It's been a while since I did a live stream, so I am just checking to make sure that it's working. Yeah, I can see that it is. Great. Awesome. So I'm David. I run R for the Rest of Us. I am going to attempt to recreate this data viz that I saw here after the 2024 US presidential election. It was made by John Byrne Murdoch of the Financial Times. I was looking at the fate of incumbent parties in elections. It was basically showing, I don't know what that one is. There we go. It was basically showing that, in the US, the Democrats, being the incumbent party, fared kind of similarly to other parties and basically did poorly in 2024. So I don't actually have the data. I actually was looking at this data and was thinking about maybe trying to use it. It was overly complicated for my purposes, because really what I want to do is make this data visualization. So I decided instead I'm going to use Gapminder data, and so I'll be working on that. I should say I am keeping an eye on my other screen here on the chat. So if there are any questions that come in, we'll do my best to answer those. Awesome. So great. Let me go ahead and get started. I will say I'm quite likely to make some mistakes. Hopefully that's a good lesson for everybody, that you will definitely make mistakes when you're coding. And actually, sorry, let me just do one thing, which is I want to just post this on a couple social accounts, just so people who might be there might join. Let me just do that really quick. All right. Okay, awesome. Just posted those. Great. All right, so let me go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm going to load, I always load tidyverse, and then I'm going to load the Gapminder package. So the Gapminder package has this Gapminder data. So it's got a number of variables. It's a longitudinal data set, so you can see it's got country, continent, year, life expectancy, and population, and then GDP per capita. So I'm going to actually just use life expectancy. So I'm going to keep a few things. So basically here, where the countries were, each dot represents one election. I'm going to have each dot be represented by a single country. And I'll show this kind of over time. So basically, like what I take this data visualization to be really showing is kind of the spread in some outcome. In this case, the fate of incumbents in terms of the vote share that they won or lost. And for me, the outcome that I'm going to be showing is the life expectancy. So I am going to just keep country, year, life expectancy. Oh, got to load tidyverse. Okay, perfect. Awesome. First, I'm just going to try and make kind of like the basic chart, and then I'm going to see if I can actually, add the Financial Times styling. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to pipe this into ggplot. So they have, on the x-axis, they have year. So I'll do AES, X equals year. And then on the y-axis is life expectancy. And I'm going to add g on point to just make a bunch of points. All right, cool. So we can already see, this is like the basic kind of the same type of chart essentially here as what the Financial Times has. I'm just looking. So obviously this shows like 0 here and then like plus and above 0, below 0. I'm not going to do that because the data is different here. So let me first think about the colors here specifically. Like by default, it's using black for those dots. It's just they're hard to see. So I'm going to say color equals, I'll do like gray 70. Let me see how that looks. It's not bad. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to load, I use a tool called SIP, which allows me to get hex codes of, images or anything on my screen. So I'm going to do that, which will actually give me the exact hex code that they're using here. Let me also just to start out, I'm just going to add a theme minimal to remove that kind of background piece. All right, we've got a lot of dots here. Maybe what I'll do actually, just because it'll be easier to see, is maybe I'll just choose one continent. So I'll say filter continent equals Asia. There we go. That's probably a little bit easier to see. And of course, I could make this for any continent. Okay, so now, so basically what they have is these dots for each country, but then they also have the kind of like bar that connects those dots. So I think I can do that with geom segment. I'll come back to that in a second. Let me work just a bit on the styling. So I'm going to add theme. I'm going to do panel grid. I'm going to remove the minor grid lines. So we just have that. That looks pretty decent. I'm going to also, I don't want grid lines for the years because I want to recreate it in their style. So I'll do panel grid major X is element blank. So we just have the Y grid lines. I'm going to also actually at this point, I'm going to remove axis titles because I'll add a title. So that won't be necessary. Okay, that looks like a good start. Okay, so now, let me see. I'm going to see if I can get this background. And I think, what is this, panel background? Fill equals that. Does that work? Yeah. Oh, wait, is it plot background? There we go. Okay, so I did fill equals that, but it then added that border around it. I don't really want that, so I'm going to say color equals transparent, which should remove that. Okay, perfect. So now I've got all of that. Let me try and figure out what the gray that they're using for their axis lines is. Hold on, let me zoom in and try and get exactly. Okay, so I'm going to say panel grid major equals element line color equals that. Okay, let me zoom back out. Okay, so that actually looks pretty decent. All right, let me see if I can add these axis ticks down here, see how they have the axis ticks there. So I'm going to say axis, what is this? I don't actually do a ton of axis ticks. Can I do like axis ticks X? I assume this is an element line. There we go. I'm guessing those are the same color. Hold on, let me zoom in. I'm guessing they're the same color. No, I was gonna say I think they're probably the same color as that, but I guess not. Let me. So say color equals. Let's see how that looks. Okay, that looks pretty decent. I'm actually curious what the color of the text is. Let me add this in. So I'll say axis.text equals element text color equals that. So that will make like these over here and then all of the years that same color. All right, let me zoom back out here. So I need to make those ticks longer. I know that there's an axis ticks length equals, what do I do? Element line, and then I think I do, I don't actually know. Let me do, look at the theme. Axis ticks length. Is that showing up down here? I just can't remember exactly how that works. I feel like it's like unit. Okay, that's not going to be right. That's not going to be what I want. No. Okay, so I'm going to use I use AI to get answers when I can't figure something out. So I've set a custom prompt. I use a tool called Raycast, but basically this is working with ChatGPT, and I tell it to give me answers using the tidyverse, just because I tend to code with the tidyverse. So I've got a custom prompt set up. So I'm going to say, how do I adjust the length of axis ticks in ggplot? Okay. Oops. All right, let me copy that. Oops. There we go. Okay, so that's probably too long. So I don't know, 0.2. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. Cool. Actually, let me. The thing I'm wondering is what font the Financial Times uses. Let me see if I can figure that out. Unfortunately, a lot of their stuff is behind a paywall. Let's just Google this. What fonts does the FT use? Actually, you know what I'm going to do? There's a website called What the Font, where you can upload an image. So this is the image Yeah, that's fine. I'll have it identify this font, see. No, I'm almost certainly not going to be able to use the exact font because it'll be paid and I won't have access to it, but that's not giving me anything great. Well, maybe I'll come back to the font in a little bit. Actually, let me try one thing. So I'm going to say base, or not base font, base family equals Montserrat. Let me see what that looks like. Family. That's not really it. Here, let me look at my fonts. Actually, I wonder if I ask AI what it might say. What fonts does the Financial Times use for data viz? So it's this financier font. Okay, obviously I'm not going to have that. That's a specific font that they use. Sorry, I'm looking at it on my other screen here. Let me see, is there a similar font on Google Fonts? I'm just basically asking for some free fonts. Oh, Merriweather, actually, that's maybe what I was thinking of. All right, let me put this over here. Do I have Merriweather? No. All right, let me look at Merriweather. It's not bad. The other ones were Libre, Baskerville, maybe, and then Crimson Pro is the other one. That's fine. They all look similar-ish. So let me just download these. I'm going to install these now. Okay, now I'm going to go back here. I think I might need to restart my session. Crimson Pro, that's probably not going to work. Oh, actually it did. Okay, cool. Let me close that. Okay, so it's not perfect. Actually, hold on, is that? Yeah, I guess that is using that. That's fine. I'm not going to worry too much about that. All right, let me make the size a little bit bigger too. So I'm going to do base size equals 14. All right, that looks pretty decent. One thing I noticed, their lines look a lot thinner, their axis lines. So let me make my axis lines a little bit thinner. Or the grid lines. So I'm going to say line width equals, no, that's too thick. I don't know, 0.25. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. Okay. Now, what I need to do is I need to be able to kind of draw this like thing that kind of connects all the dots. Actually, I'm going to do one other thing with my dots is I'm going to set the alpha, the opacity to be like 0.8. Maybe that's not quite enough. Looking at it like that. Did that change anything? No, that's not changing. Oh, I'm spelling alpha wrong. Haha. let me do like 0.7. Okay, so see how that makes them, like you can kind of see the difference, like see when they're multiple there. I guess I can't zoom in, but you can see like the overlap better if you set the alpha, the opacity to not be 100%. Let me actually see, I'm just gonna zoom in and look at their dots. I don't actually know if they've set the opacity less than 100%. Let me move this over here. All right. That's fine. Actually, maybe I'll just set it at like 0.9, so 90%. Yeah, that's fine. All right, so now I need to add that kind of like connecting section. So I think this might be a geom segment thing. Let's see. I think with geom, I don't actually use geom segment very much. So I need to check it, but I think just looking what, like basically I need to be able to specify the minimum and maximum to make the segment. Figure out the required aesthetic properties. Here we go, X end or Y end. Okay, perfect. All right, let me try this. So I'm gonna add geom segment, and I need to set some specific aesthetic properties. So like, it's still gonna have, you know, X is gonna be year still. So let's see, AES, I'll just lay everything out here. X is year, X end is also gonna be year. But for Y, okay, so it needs to go from the minimum in any single year to the maximum in any single year. I'm just gonna add some manual values just because I want to see what this looks like. So I'm gonna run it. It's not gonna include my theme stuff here. Did that work at all? Oh, sorry, I don't want 0.25. I'll do like 25 to 75. Okay, perfect. So now you can see like I have those lines there. Cool. Ahmad asks, can you have Y min and Y max? I don't actually know. I think, well, the aesthetic properties are X end and Y ends. Oh, I don't know if you're meaning like, can I use the maximum for each one there, like for each year? Yeah, that's basically what I'm gonna do. I just wanna kind of like see it now, make sure that I'm using it correctly. So the other thing I'm gonna need to do is I think this will work. No. I can't make it wider. I was just wondering if I could like make it wider, because I want to have it go, you know, like I want it to be the same length as the dots. Let's see. Let me see what ChatGPT has to say about this. Can I adjust the width on geom segment? Oh, line width. All right, let me. Okay, there we go. So actually, I can see now. I'm going to need to put this behind the geom point. Okay, there we go. Let me grab at this point the colors of that. So I'm going to say that's that. Color equals that. I'll add a plus here so I can show it with the theme. Okay, cool. So that's obviously, you know, these are not right, but, you know, gives us the right idea here. All right, let me see. Did line width 2. What if I did like 1.5? No, I think 2 looked better. Actually, it's just a little bit too thick. That's fine. I can adjust it later. Okay, so I need to, for each year, be able to calculate the min and max values. So let me go back here and look at my data. Let's see. Could I do, I don't know if this will work. I don't think this will work. If I do like that, and I do like that, okay, so that just did like the min and max for any year, which is obviously not what we want. So I'm going to simplify it a bit here. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to actually make 2 data frames. So I'm going to call this like just life expectancy. Move that. Okay. So I've got life expectancy here. And, you know, for simplicity, I'm going to just add it there in that geom. And I'm going to add my aesthetic properties here. So I'm just putting aesthetic properties for, in this case, geom point. So like if I remove that, you can see, you know, it still works. So I'm going to see, you know, maybe group by year and then add summary. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So, okay, so I've got life expectancy. So I'm going to do group by year, summarize. Let's see, I want like max life expectancy is max of life exp. Perfect. And now I'm going to do the same thing for min life expectancy. I think that should work. I'm going to save this as life expectancy min max, and I'm going to use, I just use a keyboard shortcut to style my code to adjust the indentation. Okay, so now I think I can add this here. Sorry, not within my aesthetic properties. Data equals life expectancy min max. And on the y, the min, that should be min life expectancy, and this should be max life expectancy. Ah, look at that, it worked. Cool. So I made that. Just thinking like what else I want to do because I've got it pretty close. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. That all looks pretty decent. You know, the first thing I was wondering about as I was looking at this is like, how am I going to make the like rounded, you know, like the segments need to be rounded, but it actually works because you always have a dot at the end, and so that makes it look, you know, kind of rounded. Oops. Sorry, I'm just zooming in a little bit to hopefully make it easier for you all to see. Yeah, so I could add a title here. Financial Times does an excellent job of always adding like descriptive titles. I'm not actually trying to show anything, like for example, I might, I don't know, highlight one country. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'm gonna add something that I'll add the rectangle on the 2024 or whatever the most recent year is. But let me go ahead and add a title first, actually, but I'm not going to do any kind of, again, like descriptive title. So I'll say title equals life expectancy over time. Whoops, plus. Here, I'm gonna actually move this, make this smaller because, oh wait, it's not wanting me to make it smaller. You know what, I'm just gonna make this full screen for now. Oh wait, no, that doesn't work because I need to see. Okay, so looking at this, a few things. So let's see, I've got my title here. I'll add a subtitle too, because I want to just style it in their style. I don't know. I'll put data only shown for Asian countries. And then I'm going to add a caption. I'll say data source Gapminder data. Okay, so I want to first see how they have these kind of all the way over to the left. So I want to go ahead and do that. So that will be done in my theme setting. So there's plot title position equals plot. Moves that over. I think there's plot caption position equals plot. Do I need to do plot caption equals element text and then hjust equals 0 to left align it? There we go. Cool, so let's see. Just looking at this. I might make my caption slightly smaller, so I might do, oh wait, no, I already have that. Hjust equals 0. I don't know, let me do size equals 12. No, that's, yeah, so make it like 12. Actually, one neat way to do this is to use the rel function, relative. So this will make the size relative to whatever I set as the, where is that? Whatever I set as the base size in theme minimal, which I'm gonna actually bring this down just to have it next to the theme stuff down here. So I could say rel 0.75, 0.75. So if I do 14 times 0.75, no, sorry, times 0.75, so that'll mean this should be 10.5. So I'm going to run that. Is that right? Yeah, that didn't change anything. So that's right. You know, for some reason, it looks like it's using a different font. That's weird. Yeah, now it's not. Huh. Okay, well, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to, for simplicity then, just specify the manual values. Let me do plot title equals element text, and I'll just say size equals, I don't know, 16? Oh, missing a comma. 18? That might be a little big. Maybe I'll just make the caption a little bit smaller. So I'll say plot caption, if I do 12. or sorry, not caption, subtitle. Sure. That actually looks like it might be a different font, or it's, I don't know, I think it's lighter. Let me actually see, my text I can see is a lot darker than theirs. Let me see if I can figure out the color of the font that they're using. It looks like a kind of dark gray. I think there's a, actually, let me see one thing. Can I do plot text? No. I think there is a way to specify the color for all text elements. I can't remember what it is. So I'm just going to add this manually. So it's kind of subtle, but I can see that it's a dark gray now, not the black. I think. Yeah. Let me add this to my caption as well. And in fact, I should maybe make it the same color. In fact, I think that's all the same color, like the axis text. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually take this and I'm going to define it up above. I'm going to call it like text color. Is that? So now down here, basically anytime I'm saying like text color, I'm going to use the value text color. So if I run that whole thing again, it makes it all use that text color. Cool, I think that actually looks pretty decent. Oh yeah, so let me go back and add this rectangle now. So I'm gonna do that as an annotation. I'm gonna add it down below here just so I can keep working here. So let's see, there's the annotate function. So you need to tell it what geom you're using. So I think I can do geom rect. Oh, thank you, Ahmad. Theme text equals element text. All right, let me go back up here. So text color equals text color. So I think now by doing that, I don't need to specify it for every element. Thank you. I knew there was a way to do that. I just couldn't remember what it was. So let me run this and make sure it all looks the same. Yeah, and just to confirm that this works, let me like change that to red. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so annotate, I'm going to make a rectangle, and I want it to be on the most recent year. What are the years, actually? Looks like it goes through 2007. You know, I'm going to actually adjust the scale on the x-axis. First, so I'm going to say scale x continuous. I'll just specify the limits. So limits is 1950 to 2010. 1950 to 2010 by 10. So in other words, I'm going to make breaks every 10 years. That might be a little bit too much. There we go. That looks. What do they do? I guess they do every 10 years. Sort of depends on the width of the chart that you end up making as to whether it looks cluttered. Actually, that doesn't look cluttered. That looks good. Ooh, that also actually gives me a little space here because they did that kind of annotation there. So, all right, so let me add a rectangle now. So GM rect, and I need to specify, wait, let me look at this. So I think I need to do x min and actually let me look up GM rect. Because I think I need to give it x min and x max in addition to, yeah, there I can see an example with x min. Okay, so put it back up because I'm a visual person. So I'm going to say x equals 20, or no, sorry, not 2010. Well, I can make it max of life expectancy year. And then, wait, was it x min and x max? Do I need to give it x as well? Let me try this. Oops, x min. Here, I'm just going to do something hacky just to test this out. Oh, that should be min. Okay, cool. So that worked. Obviously, that's not what I want. So oh no, it should always be the max, right? Yeah, because it's just, I just wanted to show that year, but it's not showing up. What if could I do like -1? Okay, there we go. There's probably a better way to do that, but that's okay. So now I need to put it around, I want to actually give it values for y min and y max. So I'm going to say, actually, let me use that life expectancy min max. So I want it to go for, below that and above that. So I'm going to say the y min is the min of life expectancy. You know what, this is getting complicated here. I'm going to just calculate this up here. So I'm going to say slice max order by year n equals 1. So that'll give me those values. Here, I'm just going to call this life expectancy most recent year. So now I can take this. So x min is life expectancy most recent year. Min life expectancy. Let me just copy this now. Cool, that works. Now, let me do a couple things. So first, I'm going to adjust, it's obviously totally opaque and it covers things up. So I'm going to say fill equals transparent and color equals, I don't know, just red. Yeah, there we go. Actually, I bet that color is basically the same as the text color. That's a little dark. Let me see if I can grab that color. No, I didn't grab the right color. Sometimes hard to get it just right. Okay, cool. So now what I'm realizing is we need to adjust it so it goes, above and below. So I'm going to say, can I do min -1? Cool, that worked. Min +1, hey, that works. All right, let me zoom back out. Yeah, and then let me add, I'll just add a annotation here for, well, in their case, they put 2024. I'm going to put 2007. So I'm going to add another annotate layer. So geom equals text. I'm going to say label equals, I'll just manually type it. And I need to tell it where to put it. So it's going to be X. I'll put it at 2007. Y equals, I don't know, I'm just going to manually do this. I'll put it right above 60. I'll put it, I don't know, 65. Okay, so it puts it there. That's not what we want. So I'm going to say hjust equals 1, or no, 0. You know what I actually might do? I might just adjust this value slightly. For example, if I put this at 2010 and remove the hjust. If I put 2012, oh, that's not. Oh, right, that's not going to show because our chart only goes to 2010. I'm going to do a couple things, actually. I'm going to say family equals Crimson Pro. I might just actually make this slightly smaller. Oops, that's way too big. Okay, so we've got, gosh, I really don't like the kerning on that funnel. It's like a bunch of space between those two. That's weird. Size equals 3. If I put it there, no, it's not going to show up. Let me just adjust the hjust slightly. Okay, that's too much. There we go. That's pretty decent. Let me, yeah, just thinking. Cool, so this works. There are obviously other tweaks I could make. I still don't love this font, but that's okay. Yeah, so I've basically gone ahead and made it. I'll hang out for a second, see if there are any questions. Otherwise, thanks everyone for joining.